Back in 2015, when I first attended the YP retreat, I was really questioning if God really cared about me, like if he really saw what I had been through, like what I was going through. I think I was doubting if he would really meet me where I was. I think I was just really blown away with just how vulnerable and open people were about not only their faith, but just their struggles and like the questions they had. And I had never really been in an environment before where Christians were just so real and authentic about what they were going through. And it gave me courage at the time to just really open up with the small group at my table and to really be honest about the hard questions I was asking about my own faith. And I also walked away, I think, believing and seeing more and more that it's really okay not to have all the answers, and that it is okay to really take our questions and our doubts and our fears before God. I have loved all the speakers they've brought in and that have talked about how they've really connected their faith to their own work and how they live that out in their life. One speaker that really impacted me was Sean Boyer. We were doing a speaker series, and I believe it was towards the end of his presentation. He challenged everyone in the audience to write a mission statement for their life. And then he, said, look at that mission statement and then, look at everything you're doing. And does that line up with what you wrote about yourself? And for me, that was just so helpful to be able to help me narrow it down. Okay, who am I? What's my mission? What do I feel like God's called me to do? Like, write it down and then look at what I'm doing. One of my favorite Psalms actually is Psalm 46. And it talks about just God being a refuge. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. Like, in and of ourselves, we don't have the power to get through this. But if we look to God, who is our refuge and our strength, just setting our minds on him. I think also for me, just reminding myself that ultimately what I'm living for, my hope is with Christ, and it's an eternal thing. But I think in the midst of that, it's okay to be sad and to grieve. It doesn't mean that just because we're hoping in God, it doesn't mean that we're immune to human emotions. But I think in the midst of that, just reminding, okay, ultimately we've put our hope in something eternal, which we can't see,